Alright, who's ready for part 4? Five. I can count. Part 5. I did a sound test, so hopefully this will be alright. And also, I ended a bit early last time because I thought that I was done. There was another part before the part I wanted to stop at. So, let's go. This is going to get gayer. Like, you thought last part was gay, it gets scary. You're all gonna meet my lesbian girlfriend. So, defeating my sense of thought, I forced myself to sleep, unsure of what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it.
I promise to be with you forever.
Gay.
You're so important to me.
Also gay.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
Marry me.
Please, let me love you.
I do like you.
I'll be by your side. Always.
Fuck you.
I can't imagine living without you.
You're cute.
I want to be with you.
Same.
I love you.
Get out. I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to go back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? It's too early to even be alive. Same. I gave up and sat up, staring at the fireplace across from my bed. A sigh escaped from between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. What to do at 7 a.m. in the morning? Generally, a.m. is in the morning. Generally. What should I do? I've been trying to keep Naomi and Suzu balanced, but and I'm gonna need another Suzu point. But right now they are balanced, so you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna explore. Yeah, let's explore the house. I decided it was a good idea to wander around the house. I never really explored it much as a child, so there were bound to be any surprises. Well, come on, feet. Let's go on an adventure. I stood and exited my room, hoping that the boys were still asleep, because a normal person would be at 7 in the morning. And I say this as somebody that, like, wakes up at, like, 6 in the morning to go to school when they have a class at, like, 1:40 in the afternoon. I have to be at school really early. It's god-awful. I began to wander the halls on my end of the house, opening each door to find what room each door led to. I mean, even with me being able to read, it's still not. Anyway. And quickly I found an old office. A desk and chair sat by the far side sat by the far side as a large bookshelf of documents and memorabilia donned its nooks and crannies. There were a couple pictures of me growing up peeking from a shelf as I walked further into the room. Also, there was a shady-ass lamp. I don't trust lamps in this game. I don't believe I've been in here before. I tried to recall memories of ever seeing this room, coming up with nothing as a result. This room was new to me. Did I want to disturb the furniture? I'm curious. I gently opened the shelves and any drawers I saw in the room. In a couple of them were books and even sewing kits. I assumed they were used for my grandfather's toys, so I left them alone. One drawer, however, was locked, no matter how many times I pulled. Ugh, come on, open! Nothing. It would not budge. The drawer beside it, though, did, revealing a laptop. Why is there a laptop in a drawer? Why wouldn't you just keep it on top of the desk like a normal person? I lifted it from the drawer and carried it over to the desk. Apparently it wasn't even in the desk. I can't read. Alright, well. And chair, opening it. It was a high-tech laptop with a retina scanner as a pass lock. I was not sure whether or not to try to unlock it or not. We're gonna try. This will probably give me lead to an alternate option that I'm not going to take this time because I want to beat the shit out of somebody, so. Oh, damn it, I got another Suzu point. I get like 2 Suzu points from this. I decided to try. I turned on the computer and leaned my face toward near the retina scanner, lining the camera up with my eye. To my surprise, I heard a ping come from the computer before the screen opened to a desktop. Huh, look at that. On the desktop were documents and folders, labeled with different aspects of the Anderson Company. Taxes, profits, bylaws, products. The list went on and on. If I really did want to become the CEO of the Anderson Toys Company, I had everything about it at my fingertips. Dad would sure be impressed. One icon, however, stood out from the rest. Vorago? I double-clicked the icon, but no window came up. Instead, I heard a large click come from the door that was locked. What the? I slowly left my seat and walked over to the drawer, attempting to open it again. It slid open smoothly in the direction of my pulling hand, because what other direction would it fucking go in? Revealing 2 books. One was a plain black journal with a tie to keep it closed. The other was bound in leather with cryptic symbols all over the cover. I took out the journal and skimmed through it, seeing my grandfather's notes. They were all detailed explanations and opinions on his findings on demon magic. He really did know about magic. You're a wizard, bee. I sat down at the desk and read through the journal further, finding drawings and sketches of symbols and magic circles, each with their own different meanings and effects. It was all fascinating. There was even a page of important spells to know. I read through them, trying to memorize them in my mind. I don't know what came over me, but I started to feel more energetic and more powerful, simply reading my grandfather's notes. I was suddenly aware of the energy that surrounded my body and the power that was around the house. The more I read, the more powerful I became. However, my mind suddenly froze and I found myself walking back to the drawer, putting the book back and closing the drawer. The lock reset and I snapped out of it. What? I shook my head and looked at the drawer, realizing what I had done. I walked over to the desk to reopen the lock, but suddenly felt the need to stop. Something held me back and didn't want me to pry any more than I already had. I was curious beyond belief, but I obeyed my thoughts for now. Eventually, I would come back and look into it. I returned to bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep because, God, sleep's the best thing ever. It was Sunday and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes, back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Okay. Why is time going so slowly? It's like 5 hours. Bitch just got at least, okay, assuming that I went to bed at midnight per se, then I got 12 hours of sleep. Which is not unheard of for me, but come on, you just slept for at least 5 hours. Okay, God. I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sundays were very boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I had heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle of the others 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each almost masterfully. I'm gonna scream at them. Hey! All at once, the boys looked at me, frozen in their movements. It's their surprised faces again. I just stood at the doorway, staring at them after my outburst. James was the first to break away from the group, stepping towards me.
Good morning. We apologize if we woke you up.
No, it's fine. I've been awake for 5 minutes now. I'm sorry I interrupted.
It's quite all right. We needed to stop anyway. We don't want to overwork Sam.
Oh, come on, I can handle more than those pity punches.
Your mind seems grateful that we've stopped.
Shut up, Damien.
Oh, crap. We should probably make some lunch. I'm sure you're starving.
I can handle lunch if you like. You all seem to be very busy training to beat Malik's. I'll take care of it today.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah? Why not? I'm not useless. I know how to cook and, plunge a toilet. I explained this, several episodes ago, at least, I'm sure. Maybe part 3 or something. I'm pretty sure I mentioned being able to plunge a toilet. Yeah, and I can cook. Yes, I can.
Well, no, I wasn't insinuating.
What he means to say is that we'd be really grateful if you could make lunch today.
No problem. As I returned to the kitchen, the boys went back to training. They seemed very determined to get better and to become stronger. I love how all of them just like look angry again. And Matthew's like, oh, for the love of fuck. I might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I decided to make... chicken and rice. Gotta keep their energy and strength up with protein. I took my time to make almost perfect chicken breasts alongside some rice. Cooking wasn't hard unless you didn't know what you were doing in the first place. Cooking's not hard even if you don't know what you're doing. Like, listen, anyone can cook unless you're flinchy though. Actually, I'm sorry, that was mean of me. Julius can't cook either. I don't know if any of you know this, but Julius can canonically not cook. Actually, he's like worse than Flynn because Julius can't actually cook. Like, Flynn can cook, he just doesn't follow the recipe and experiments too much and like puts hot sauce in his drinks. He's a mess. I no longer know what a reasonable amount of garlic is. That's Flynn. Julius is just, I can't fucking cook. Yeah. I placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, the foyer, the main hall, whatever, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. Wink wonk. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and scare myself because my thing was weird. Oh my god, that was terrifying. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focused on training. I quickly rushed back and grabbed the second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. I found James in the library. Wink wonk. By the way, I want all of you to know the first time I did this, I obviously went for James because he's like totally my type, right? Like all of you should know by this point that like hot older brothers with sexy voices and glasses are like totally my type. Julius, what? Nothing. I have a thing for older brothers. Like, honestly. Anyway, and I like managed to get to this point, yet I still accidentally became a lesbian. So be careful when you play this game, if you play this game. I found James in the library, sitting in one of the comfy leather seats reading a book. As I stepped in, James looked up at me before closing the book and standing.
Oh, hello.
Hey, babe. I got some lunch for you. Wink wonk.
That is very kind of you. Thank you.
No prob, Bob. James took his food and sat back down, placing the book he was reading on the table in front of him and setting the dish on his lap. Maybe I should have brought a lap desk.
I'm sorry. I should have asked you first before exploring the house and finding this room.
Oh, no, you're fine. Remember, you live here too, so any room besides mine is free to be in. Any room besides mine. Just you're welcome in my room too, though. Huh?
Still,
Wink
you're the
wonk.
master of the house. I should have asked.
I can be master of more than just the house. It's fine, really. James nodded at me with an understanding smile before eating his food. I followed along and ate with him, taking the open chair beside his. We ate in silence, listening to the ambience in the room. And those... Oh, look at his smile. He's so cute. Soon, however, I began to feel a little restless. No. I put my food down on the table and lifted the book to examine it. Love and Romance, a Study of Intimacy. James let out a small nervous cough before he stopped eating and placed his food on the table.
Demons and humans are very different when it comes to affairs of the heart. I merely wanted to try learning a little more while I had the chance. I found that while I was looking around the room and had only just begun reading.
I need to do something really quickly. Love is different to demons? How so? I love how I just sat down again. And James smiled before crossing his legs, getting comfy for the small lecture he was about to give. Oh, hello. I can maybe not click things on accident.
Love isn't just a human emotion, miss. Demons like us feel them too. In fact, incubi and succubi feel emotions the most because of our link to sexual energy. However, we don't really experience love. We know of lust and passion.
So you don't love me, you just lust me? Lust me. Love is better than lust. But passion drives love. Love, not lust.
For humans, yes. For demons, it fuels our need to breed and increase the strength of our lineage as well as quells the hunger we have for sexual energy. It's very hard for us to develop feelings from passion, despite how easy it may logically seem.
Well, that's just rude. You hunger for energy? I could tell I struck a nerve with James. As I mentioned the word hunger, his arm twitched, obviously wanting to do something other than remain on the armrest of his chair. We should make out. He continued speaking regardless.
Sexual energy is our natural food source and is one of two ways to keep us alive. In the abyssal planes, there are many demons to feed off of who are always willing to give their energy up, so sexual hunger is never an issue.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. For a minute, I was like, well, if you feed off of, like, another incubus or succubus, is that, like, I feel like that would, like, I'm like, because, yes, they can. I mean, like, I know that succubi and incubi can, like, feed off of each other's energies, but I'm like, does it, like, cause problems for you? Like, are they on you hungry? Like, I don't. But then I was like, oh, wait, there's more than just incubi and succubi in the abyssal planes.
In the human world, however, we've come to realize that getting energy is a little more difficult.
You wanna fuck? I mean, can't you just touch a human for their energy like you all did with me?
That only gives us so much. A touch is merely a taste, while intimate sex is a banquet for us.
So you wanna fuck? Wink bonk. I guess that was true. Humans weren't all about sex. You'd be surprised. You can't be asexual. Every human wants to have sex. I'm gray asexual, by the way. I'm like bi gray bi asexual. I'm gray asexual, but when I experience sexual attraction, I consider myself bisexual. So, yeah. And we're probably a lot more conservative than demons, at least. It would be hard to gain sexual energy from a human without doing something to them or catching them in the right mood.
This is why we have a mind-altering ability to convince humans to give in to their desires. It's not 100% effective, but it gives us a better possibility to get what we need.
I mean, if you have, like, a sex-repulsed person, like my best friend, they're probably not gonna want to, like, bang you. Unlike me. What if you don't feed on sexual energy? What's the other way to stay alive?
Food, typically. However, we're weak without actual sexual energy. Without sexual energy, we become less than human. We have no power nor moral consciousness. We basically start to become unfriendly.
You wanna fuck. Okay, y'all. I know that it's like, if you're like me, you're like, oh, he seems uncomfortable. I don't want to push this issue. And you'd say, I see. And then you're going to become a lesbian. Okay? So, do not become a lesbian. Do you hear me? Do not become a lesbian, like me, on accident. Choose this option. James didn't reply. He simply stared at me, unable to answer. However, I could tell that he was. He was clutching the armrests tightly, digging his fingers into the leather. I gently leaned close to him from my chair and reached to brush my fingers over his hand. If you really need energy, I'll help a little. I'll bang you, but I mean, no sex, but enough to stop the hunger, okay? Once again, I was greeted with silence from James. He seemed very nervous and uncertain about what to do, now that the approval was there. He was also frozen from my touch, softly and barely twitching at the feel of my skin against his. I could feel his hand grip the armrest harder. Oh my fucking god, just bang me already. A small feeling of boldness then ran through my body. We've been at each other for like, what, how many days now? Like, 4 days? Right? No, listen, it's been like 3 days, right? Yeah, because my grandpa died, then like moved in here, met them, then it's been like, so that's day 1, day 2 was yesterday, the day of the party, and then day 3 is like today. Yeah. So we've known each other for 3 days, but I want to like bang him, make out with him. You literally realize that you can bang them within like knowing them of like after knowing them for like less than a week, I think. Like, I'm trying to think of this series of events. Like it's like, okay, today's Sunday, so Monday another thing happens, and then Tuesday another thing happens, and then Tuesday or Wednesday you can bang them. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh well. A small feeling of boldness then ran through my body, forcing me to cover his hand completely with my own before leaning nose to nose with James in seriousness. Alter my mind if you're concerned about me. I really do want to help you out. All of a sudden, I felt something in my mind snap and ooze into the warm, fluffy feeling I felt before with Sam and Eric. This ain't gonna be fluff, though. I felt my body slightly heat up as James released the armrest and gently took my wrist. He gently pulled me out of my chair and onto his lap. Oh, fuck yeah. Having me straddle him with my thighs, he stared deep into my eyes, his own glowing in hunger that I never would have expected to see from him.
I won't go overboard.
Let's just fuck already! Before I knew it, his lips were pressed hard against my head being pulled to his by his hand on the back of my neck, except for it really doesn't look that way to me. His hand's like not any... whatever. I gently moved my hands to his shoulder and chest, melting in his lap and enjoying every feeling that ran through my body. I felt hot, desperate, and a need for more than just his kiss. One of my hands slid up his neck and into his hair as James lowered his kisses to my neck, gently groaning against my skin. Don't make it awkward. I couldn't help but let out a small whimper of pleasure before reaching up and covering my mouth. I didn't want the others to hear me, and I was positive neither did James. James lowered his free hand to my lower back, pulling my body against his. I felt my energy slowly draining, causing me to cuddle closer to James's hold on me. He lowered his hand to my waist, squeezing it tightly as his tongue, oh my god, ravished my neck. By the way, I have a thing that I have this personal thing that I'm going to share with all of you. I don't actually like the making out thing because I have this thing against tongues. Maybe it's from growing up watching Naruto and hating Orochimaru, and then Girahim didn't help anything, but dude, I hate tongues. If you ever want to kiss me, don't you dare use tongue or I will rip it out of your fucking mouth. Anyway, his hand that was on the back of my neck, however, gently came around and held onto a tail of my bow. That seems really... what? Whatever. I sucked in a breath, but James didn't pull it to untie the bow. James lifted his lips from my neck and gently leaned his forward to mine. His forehead to mine. I couldn't read. I'm not wearing my glasses. Leave me alone. Rubbing nose to nose with me. He was gently breathing fast, softly red in the face, and as deep in the moment as I was.
I won't go any further if you don't want me to.
We're gonna fucking do it. We're gonna bang. I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give any more. Dude, we're gonna keep going. I don't know what happens if you stop. I've never tried. I was too scared of becoming a lesbian again. Keep going. I opened the opportunity and I was enjoying it as much as he was. I wanted more and I was going to let him keep going. He promised not to go too far. He promised not to go far, but this wasn't far enough for me. I gently leaned in and kissed him, giving him silent approval to keep going. I could feel him pull on the tail of my bow, releasing it and letting it follow his hand off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to the empty seat before gently unbuttoning the top half of my blouse, going no lower than above my stomach. I'm sure you can see my bra at this point. The desire in my body drove me to move the sleeves of my shirt down my arms, escaping from it and letting the shirt hang around my belly because I'm just stripping. Guys, once I did a striptease at the hospital for probably the nurses. I just didn't want to be wearing pants, so I started strip teasing with pants. Anyway, as he began to ravish my neck and shoulders in hot kisses. I leaned my head back and let a pleasureful sigh escape my lips. The pull in my body from him draining my energy had slowed immensely, almost completely stopping. However, James kept touching and kissing me regardless. He was full, but he was as hot as I was. I mean, he was hotter than me, because, damn, son, have you seen him? He's like totally my type. And kept loving on my skin and on me. That's so awkwardly written. I couldn't even comprehend how much time we spent making out. I was so lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. Call it sinful. So sinful. But I didn't care. Listen, this is nothing. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment, even as he lowered his kisses down my chest and just above my bra. I assume she wears like a regular bra, not like a sports bra. Because my sports bras don't, I don't know, whatever. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about James drew me to him like a moth to a flame. So you dumb, like moths to a cliche. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I keep thinking of Ewan. I didn't know if it was his aura of superiority or his gentle smile, or just the fact that he's like just my fucking type. But something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love, that it was too passionate to be lust. What was it? Infatuation. Probably. However, I began to feel dizzy, seeing the ceiling start to spin almost wildly. I gripped onto James's shoulders, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I could let out another sound. It felt good. I didn't care that I was blacked out. I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness. I never knew indulging in that kind of passion would be that good. I now just waited to awaken, hopefully in a good way. My eyes fluttered open, adjusting to the sight around me. I felt familiar silks underneath me, letting me know that I was in my bed. I'm like trying not to laugh during this. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt a very soft pain on my neck and shoulders, and What, did he give me a fucking hickey? I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently and healing. However, when I looked down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned as if nothing happened between me and James. I was just missing my ribbon. Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied in a nice bow around a red rose that was freshly bloomed with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
I apologize for indulging myself as I did. I hope that you will not dislike me when you awaken.
I'm gonna bang your ass. I will. I will do all 3 of James's endings, but I stared at the note, unbelieving what I read. Why would I dislike him? I let it happen, and I enjoyed it. It was cute, though, to imagine him asking for forgiveness for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the rose to my nose and gently inhaled its soft fragrance. I indulged myself too, James. Thank fuck. I looked at the time out of curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m. Yikes. 4 hours of being knocked out, and I still feel tired. I've literally done nothing but sleep today. It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. Alright. The remainder of the night passed, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly the next morning. No grogginess, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep? I looked at my alarm clock. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. Well, hey, I must be lucky today. Wrong! Karma owed me some luck. After all I had gone through in merely a handful of days, I deserved to get some good luck. It wasn't gonna fucking last. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson!
Jesus
You're
Christ.
carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
This is like the first day I've gone. I'm like, is there even like a bus that goes from my house? I smiled. My friends were the best. They were really gay. I couldn't drive yet and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. Both of them can drive, I think. Naomi has a car, Susie has a motorcycle, so I checked the time. That's disgusting. 6:30. Perfect. I can eat some breakfast before they come. I packed my bag and carried it downstairs towards the kitchen. As I entered the dining room, I saw a plate with eggs, toast, and Babe. A fresh steaming cup of coffee sat next to the plate with the sugar and creamer on the side. I hate eggs and bacon. What did I say on like the first damn day? I walked to the table and couldn't believe what I was seeing. Someone obviously didn't listen when I said that I hated eggs and bacon. Who made this? As I spoke aloud, a small red note caught my attention. Have a good day. Yours. Wink wonk. My heart skipped a beat as I finished. I could tell it was from one of the boys. Maybe it was from him. I smiled before putting the note in my bag. And eating up. The food was so delicious. I devoured every amazing bite. Thank God he can fucking cook, unlike Julia's. I looked at the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. You know, there's a mirror in my fucking, dining room. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. Before I could reach the handle of the door, however, someone took my hand. Huh? I turned to see James, who was holding my hand back with a concerned frown on his face.
My name.
Your name.
My true name isn't James, miss. I want you to know my real name if something were to happen.
He still calls me this. How fucking cute. His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? I remembered reading about a demon's name from the journal I read yesterday. If you knew a demon's true name, you could summon them to you, no matter where you were or where they were. James gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Raystro.
Got it. Raystro, I can say that one. I can't say some of the other ones. As he said his name, I could feel it lock into my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. There is a way of making me forget things. Anyway, James pulled away and smiled at me, despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
If you're in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
I stared up at James, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. James smiled before kissing my hand and heading into the dining room to take that frickin' plate of nasty-ass crap he made. Learn what I actually like. Jesus Christ. Something told me that name would be used eventually. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to school, talking about the homework and the coming day. Gaze. Oh man, you guys ready? Alright, we made it into the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, so we quickly unloaded what we needed to and got our important books and necessities. First incident of the day. As I walked towards Suzu and Naomi, who were both waiting for me on the opposite side of the hall, something hooked my ankle and made me fall forward. Ow!
Hey, are you okay? Who did that?
Who the fuck do you think? The three of us looked back to see Lisette and her gaggle of girls. Lisette had a look of complete innocence while the girls around her giggled like no tomorrow. Technically, it was my first lesbian girlfriend. I would show you guys, but I'm not going to yet.
Why, you little... Suzu, don't!
No, Suzu. I got this. I felt a giant fire of anger burn in my stomach as I stared at Lisette. Today was not the only time this had happened to me. However, it was now clear who was behind these incidents. I couldn't put two and two together. Even if she was innocent and one of her goons did it, it was now obvious that Lisette was the mastermind just from the look on her face. As she was no friend, nor would she ever be. I had to do something. You guys ready? had enough. I felt adrenaline rush through my body as I pounced off of the ground and rushed at Lisette. I was not going to be the only one with scrapes this time. I tackled Lisette to the ground, swiping and slapping her innocent face. She screamed in fright before trying to push me off and block my attacks.
Holy shit! Anderson!
Shut up, Suzu, I got this.
Stop it!
No! I wasn't listening anymore. I let my carnal need to get revenge take over as I began to pull at Lisette's hair to get better aim in her face with my free hand. I'd had enough of the bullying, the wounds, the insults. All of that was going to burn in the past as I scraped my nails in hand across Lisette's face over and over. My rebellion would be marked on her pretty face for all to see. Lisette pushed me off and scrambled to her feet, both panicked and angry at the same time. Her emotion was nowhere close to the anger I was feeling.
Are you crazy? What the hell?
You wanna go? I stood up very slowly, glaring daggers into Lisette's soul through her eyes. I must have had some sort of monster behind me. Maybe I looked like the monster myself. But the gaggle of girls, Lisette, and even my friends had a look of pure terror on their faces. I've had enough of you, Lisette. You obviously won't stop unless I fight back. Well, guess what? You're gonna get it. I charged at Lisette a second time, shoving her hard against the lockers. She let out a yelp of pain as she smacked the back of her hand against the back of her head against the metal behind her before glaring and shoving me back. As I stumbled back, Lisette raised her hands, ready to fight.
Then come on, Anderson. Show me what you've got. I bet it's not much.
I know Taekwondo, bitch. I felt myself snarl in anger before raising my own fists, remembering my Taekwondo. I quickly snapped onto one leg and raised a leg to get a swift kick at her head, but she blocked with her arm and stepped forward to jab at me. She had training. Not surprising. I didn't care at that moment. I bent back away from the incoming jab, re-establishing my balance as I placed both feet on the floor. Lisette threw jab upon jab at me, forcing me to block my torso and face with my arms and hands. Hit for hit, Lisette and I exchanged and defended blows at each other. It was indeed more than just a catfight. This was a vengeful duel. In my mind, all I saw was Lisette. All I wanted to do was make her stop, and if that meant beating her down, then it had to be done. I eventually gained a small crowd of people, all silent but observing the fight. My anger intensified, my hits became harder with each second that passed between us. I couldn't let her win. I wouldn't let her win. None of Lisette's girls dared to step in, apparently afraid to after seeing our skills and our individual fighting styles. Suzu was held back by an enemy's arm, despite both of them wanting to help me. They didn't have to wait long for it to end, though. Suddenly, Lisette was pulled away from me, and I was pushed against the lockers by a strong force. Lisette hit the lockers as well on the opposite end of the hallway, letting out a girly grunt of pain. I looked up to see my art teacher, Miss Gordon, holding me against the lockers with a look of surprise and serious concern on her face.
Miss Anderson, what are you doing?
I'm fighting a bitch, Miss Gordon. What does it look like? I looked to see Lisette being held back by Mrs. Phillips, starting to cry innocently. I knew it was going to come out of her mouth, so I tried to push Miss Gordon off to confront her. Miss Gordon, however, kept an arm wrapped around me, keeping me back. No! Don't you dare start crying, Lisette! You started this!
Miss Anderson, get a hold of yourself!
What is wrong with you? What did I ever do to you? I couldn't stop the angry tears running down my face as I shouted across the hallway. Lisette and Mrs. Phillips stared in shock at my screams as Miss Gordon tightened her hold on me. I am so sick of it! Leave me alone! Eventually I lost my energy and began to weigh down on Miss Gordon's arms, letting my sadness take over and quench my anger with tears and swelling pain. Also, I just cry when I'm angry. I could feel Miss Gordon hug me to her and to keep me upright, as Lisette sniffled and confided with Mrs. Phillips.
I didn't do anything to her! She just attacked me all of a sudden.
That's a lie, Lisette. You tripped her on purpose. You've always been a snobby prick to us.
Never! I gave my condolences about her grandfather's death. I try to keep everyone calm. Is that so wrong?
That was on Friday.
You didn't even sound sincere. We know you were only pretending to be nice to spite us.
Enough. Miss White, follow me to the dean's office.
Ha ha! Lisette followed, wiping her eyes on the faint innocence she knew how to play up. I remained still in Miss Gordon's arms, unable to bring myself to fight to get at Lisette again. I had done my damage. The gaggle of Lisette wannabes would make sure I became infamous around the school. I didn't care. Now y'all won't fuck with me because I'll beat the shit out of you. I made my statement on Lisette's face and body, and I wasn't afraid to do it again. Miss Gordon, however, wasn't done with me.
Come with me, sweetie.
Oh, fuck. I nodded and followed. My friends found us as they watched me leave, but they headed to class without me. Miss Gordon led me to an empty classroom, which she had claimed as hers. It looked like all the other classrooms, but art posters lined the walls because that's what a fucking art room looks like. Apparently. Not my high school's art room. Many students loved the room, but hated one thing, the mirror in the very back of the room. It was the one thing Miss Gordon loved to use against her students. With it, she was able to see who was using their phones and who was actually studying. Miss Gordon led me to the back of the room and sat me down in front of it.
What do you see?
I expected your mirror to be bigger is what I see. I also see that your arm... It's... My hair... You also have heterochromia. You're very pretty. Huh?
Tell me what you see.
I looked in the mirror and saw myself. My clothes were a bit ruffled from the fight, but beyond that, I just saw me. Nothing about me seemed different than normal. I see myself.
Alright. What else?
I see your very pretty heterochromia. Graves. What? Nothing. What else? I don't understand.
Do you know what I see? I see a brilliant woman who has been working her butt off to try and find herself. She just has a little bit of adversity in her way.
What does this have to do with what happened with Lisette?
Listen, don't think about Lisette right now. She's just another student who doesn't know what you're going through.
I stared at myself in the mirror, unable to tear my eyes away. She was right, but I still lingered on what happened with Lisette. I know Miss Gordon was only trying to help, but I couldn't fight the thoughts in my head. Miss Gordon gently rubbed my shoulders, snapping me from my thoughts. I looked up to see her smile down at me through the mirror.
You know, those were some pretty interesting moves. Taekwondo.
Can I flirt with my teacher? Yeah.
You'll have to show me one day.
I say that, and then I'm just like, oh, a difficult boyfriend. Kazuaki was my first one. I was gonna say, actually, yeah, Hayes was actually the first one I flirted with in Hustlecat. James was the first one I attempted in Seduce Me. I did not get James on my first try. And Kazuaki was my first one in Hateful Boyfriend. And then Shu. Yup. Anyway. I laughed as she hugged me gently.
Look, don't let Lisette get to you, okay? You have your own battles to face, and you can face them just fine. Instead of fighting Lisette, focus on your goals.
What if my goal is to fight Lisette? I said that killing people made me happy. I looked up at her and nodded slightly. It was cliche to hear, but she was telling the truth. I needed to focus on myself first. She gave me a small packet of tissues and told me that she would handle Lisette. The fear about my family learning of this the fear about my family learning of this that had quickly appeared had vanished when she promised to keep me out of it as much as she could.
Everything will be fine now. You're a good student, so I'll let you off with a severe warning. Just don't get into any more fights, okay? Now, head to class.
What if I want to fight somebody? Dude, you know what I just realized is that I don't think that there are, like, any male students here, so this literally could just be, like, an all-girl school. I nodded before heading to class. Surprisingly, the rest of the school day went off without another incident, which was unfortunate because I wanted to beat the shit out of Lisette again. I went to my classes, had lunch, and was anxious to get home. As the bell rang for school to end, I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket. Huh? A text? From Dad? I'll be picking you up today. Make sure you're ready to go when I get there. That's kind of a surprise. I quickly headed back to my locker and got my things before waiting for Naomi and Suzu, the lesbians.
Hey, are you ready to go?
Actually, my dad's picking me up.
Really? Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense.
We'll drive home together next time. Tell your dad that we've got you covered from now on.
Yeah, alright. Okay. Even while I laughed, something didn't seem right. They're gonna go make out in Naomi's car. My dad texted me to say this? Why was he going to pick me up? Had I done something wrong? beating the crap out of Lisette. That's what I did wrong, but I didn't know. God, Miss Gordon said that she wouldn't tell my parents, but I waved goodbye to Naomi and Susie before heading off to the usual spot where my dad picks me up. I took the time to listen to my music while I waited. I need to go to another Rise of the Phoenix concert. I have no idea if this is supposed to be like a reference to a band, but it just makes me think of like the song Rise Like a Phoenix from Eurovision, which I actually really love. Eventually, I had played the entire album with no one showing up. What the hey? Dad's never late, especially not this late. I quickly dialed my dad's number again, but as soon as I pressed call, it disconnected. I read a signal disconnection error message. No signal error? How do I not have signal? I double-checked my phone and saw all 5 bars for signal. He must be in a dead zip. Before I could finish, a group of hands grabbed at my hands, feet, I can speak, and covered my mouth. I screamed in the hand over my mouth, struggling to pull away from the hands grabbing at my limbs. It felt disgusting and scary, feeling their hands on me. I needed it to stop.
Hey! Don't dirty up Malix's prey.
Please stop. This is getting really gay. The voice, which sent a fearful shiver down my spine, whispered into my ear. By the way, she has a name, but you like only find out her name in like one, actually like them actually saying her name is like in only one choice, and I can't remember her name.
You're coming with me, Miss Anderson.
I literally do not remember who she is, like her name. I couldn't fathom what was happening. But before I knew it, I was blindfolded and my limbs were quickly tied up. I felt myself being carried somewhere and was shoved into something that echoed the interior of a bus or a van. The doors closed and off I was taken, unsure of where I was going and why. All I knew was that I was in trouble. All I saw was darkness. No shit. I felt numb as I was taken to a place I didn't know of. I couldn't even move my lips to scream. Sounds zipped past my ears. First the interior of the car, then the outside, and then an echoey space with whispers and cackles of people vibrating through it. However, the wrapper on my eyes was eventually removed from my face and my bonds were cut. It took a while for my eyes to adjust, but I found myself in a warehouse, surrounded by devils, including Malix, who was smirking at me. I wish that I could, like, flirt with Malik, though. And I mean, like, Malik isn't, like, Malik Caesar.
Nicely done! I'm sure those little shits will come running to find you when they realize you didn't return to your precious little mansion. They'll search everywhere for you.
Does that graffiti say Smoochie? Malix walked over and set the barrel of his gun against the skin between my eyes. I'm like looking at the... Do you think that says Pizza Hut? Because that says barbecue over there. Does that say sugar? What the fuck is this fucking graffiti?
It'll be so funny when they find your dead body instead.
I'll have to do it anyway. Let's go for it. Racestro! Holy fuck. All of a sudden, a bright purple light engulfed the room, causing the devils around me to cover themselves.
What the?
She has a name. I can't think of what it is, though. Gusts of wind rushed past me, almost forcing me back. I covered my face with my arms, bracing myself and standing my ground. I tried to peek through my arms to see what was going on, but the light continued to shine brightly. As the gust slowly started to die, the light began to fade, revealing James pointing a strange golden gun behind Malix's head. James.
It's all right now. I'm here.
Ooh, hey, hottie. Malix stared wide-eyed behind him, unsure of what to do. He had no time to react in case James pulled the trigger. He was stuck, feeling the presence of James's golden gun that was ready to lodge a bullet into his skull.
Well, it seems like I finally have your cooperation, Malix. It took long enough.
You piece of demon shit! I could shoot you right now.
And what's stopping me from shooting you
Right.
first? If you so much as flinch, I will pull this trigger and end you once and for all.
The remaining devils stared, trying to figure out what to do. Help Malix or watch in silence. Eris, that's her name. Yeah, she has a name. You just they only actually call her by that in like one choice thing. I don't know. Eris, however, walked up beside me and crossed her arms as she watched with a amused smirk on her face. Malix growled, obviously annoyed at the predicament he was in.
What is stopping you, pretty boy?
Just me wanting to do this.
Ooh! No hesitation, James quickly moved his gun and shot both of Malix's hands. The gun dropped from Malix's shot hand onto the ground as he knelt over in pain, holding his hands to his chest. Like, Eris is just... My favorite thing about Eris is that she literally, like, almost never does anything to, like, help anybody. Like, she's just like, listen, Malix, you can do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck, and I'm just gonna do my own thing.
You son of a bitch!
Before Malix could finish the sentence, James aimed the gun once again at Malix's head, causing the devil to stop talking once again.
I didn't say you could speak. Do you want me to shoot you in the throat?
I stared at James in shock. Was he playing with Malix? He seemed to act like a cat poking a sharp claw at a wounded rat. It was warranted, but not what I expected of James at all.
Now, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to get on your knees to beg for forgiveness. Or, the next bullet goes through your pathetic hellborn skull.
Malix hesitated, but eventually ended up on his knees. However, as he settled onto the ground, Malix wrapped his arms around James's leg and dug his teeth into it. I gasped, but remained still as I watched James aim and fire a shot into Malix's back. Malix released James's leg in shock, trembling at the newfound pain. However, for some reason, Malix didn't fall over and die. It's almost as though they're, like, hardier than humans, whatever. He remained still, staring ahead of himself in pure shock and pain. I could only watch in silence as James lifted his leg out of Malix's embrace and kicked Malix to his side.
Disobedience until the very end, huh?
Huh? The air instantly went from frantic to still in energy. What could have been described in tone as the color red quickly turned into a deadly mix of purple and gold as everything began to blend together all at once. As someone who has, like, synesthesia, right, where I see languages as colors and, like, words as colors, so, I mean, not really how I'd describe it, but whatever. I stared as James seemed to grow more menacing towards Malix. However, he quickly looked at me with a face of concern.
Please, forgive me for this.
Babe, fuck him up. Kick his ass, baby. I got you, flower. I grew confused, but wasn't allowed to think on it as James looked back down at Malix once again. James's eyes began to glow a bright gold as James lifted Malix by his collar and pulled him up and off of the ground. Yeah, just kick his ass, baby. I got you, flower.
It's high time you discovered the true power of demons.
Oh, so hot. James's voice had changed, sending a large shiver down my spine. His appearance also started to change, but before I could see clearly what James was becoming, my eyes were covered.
It's me. Don't look.
I listened carefully and let the last 2 words linger in my mind. Don't look. Why? What was being hidden from me? I wanted to know, but something told me to obey Damien's command. I could hear Malix struggling to get off James's grasp and the rich, bright sound of magic being cast. I learned how to read. I struggled with myself to obey Damien's words, locking my arms to my sides to deny myself the chance to pull Damien's hands off of my face.
Let me go!
As you wish.
The sounds of demonic screams and cries bellowed all of a sudden, causing me to tense up in Damien's hands. Malix began to scream in agony, straining as if he was being pulled somewhere against his will. Malix's voice began to trail out into an echoey whisper as the magic sounds of the air consumed his cries. Soon enough, the cries and wisps of magic stopped, leaving the air as silent as it could be. However, Damien didn't remove his hands.
Jeez, James. Haven't seen you use that trick since the intruder in Demon Castle. But you're losing your touch. You even lost your glamour spell.
It couldn't have been helped.
Glamour spell? What did he mean? Why did James sound so different? Why was this being hidden from me?
It's a spell that makes us look human.
I froze. Look human? They didn't look like humans after all? What did they look like?
Like demons.
Wow, Damien, that was really fucking descriptive. As if Matthew knew what Damien was talking about, Matthew spoke up, followed by the sound of a cork popping out of a bottle.
Well, not for much longer. Here.
Thank you, Matthew.
I could hear the small clinking of a glass being passed before hearing James guzzle down a liquid of some sort. The stiff feel of the air around me gently began to warm back up, insinuating that everything had been returned to normal. Finally, I just dropped my phone. Damien removed his hands from my eyes, allowing me to see around me once again. The devils, including Eris, whose name I apparently know somehow, had fled. Malix was nowhere to be found. The boys, however, had gathered around me, all of them, including James, looking like nothing had happened. What just... I tried to speak, but everything zipped around in my head at the whole event, and I felt like speaking wasn't possible.
Let's just get you home, miss. There's nothing more to see here.
I could only nod. What had happened boggled my mind to the point of disbelief. I was second-guessing everything, lost in a sea of what, and how, and when. As we walked out of the warehouse, I looked at James for some form of sign that I wasn't dreaming. James kept his eyes forward, unable to look at me. It was over. Melix was gone, and the boys were finally safe. A wave of relief ran through my body at the thought of never having to deal with that group again. At the same time, a ping of realization hit the back of my mind. The boys were only going to stay here until after Melix was defeated. That was our deal. As we approached home, I could feel something heavy weigh down my heart. It was late, but the boys let me inside and turned on the lights in the foyer.
Finally, we can relax.
And we're going to actually stop part 5 here. And part 6 will actually be the one that gets really gay. So, I'm sorry for lying to you all.